Hey everyone, hello. As always, I hope this video finds you in good health and in good spirits. Today, we explore one of the most enigmatic figures of the 19th century, Helena Petrovna Blavatsky, better known as Madame Blavatsky, a mystic, a traveler, and co-founder of the Theosophical Society. Blavatsky's life is a tapestry woven with threads of Eastern philosophy, Western esotericism, and whispers of supernatural power. Some hailed her as a spiritual pioneer. Others condemned her as a fraud. But there's no denying Blavatsky shaped the modern occult revival in profound ways. So let's step into her world and trace her connections through the labyrinth of the occult. Helena was born in 1831 in Yekaterinoslav, in modern-day Ukraine. From a young age, she was described as having psychic gifts, visions, trances, and unexplained phenomena seemed to surround her. She married young but soon left her husband, embarking on a lifetime of wandering. This wandering would bring her into contact with mystics, shamans, and occult teachers from all over the globe. One of the first important claims in her life is that she traveled to Tibet and studied under mysterious spiritual masters she called the Mahatmas, beings who guided humanity from hidden retreats in the Himalayas. Whether literal teachers, astral entities, or symbolic archetypes, these Mahatmas would become central in her teachings. In 1875, Blavatsky co-founded the Theosophical Society in New York City alongside Colonel Henry Steele Alcott and William Q. Judge. Theosophy wasn't just another spiritual movement, it was revolutionary. Its goals were to form a universal brotherhood of humanity, to study comparative religion, philosophy, and science, and to investigate unexplained laws of nature and the powers latent in man. Though through Theosophy, Blavatsky introduced Western audiences to concepts like karma, reincarnation, and chakras, ideas that were little known outside of Hinduism and Buddhism at that time. Her books, Isis Unveiled, which was written in 1877, and The Secret Doctrine in 1888, became cornerstones of occult literature. Blavatsky didn't operate in isolation. She was deeply connected with the occult networks of her time. So let's explore a few examples. For one, spiritualism. In the mid-19th century, seances and spirit communication were all the rage. Blavatsky mingled with spiritual circles, but often criticized mediums as frauds. She argued that what people thought were spirits of the dead were often astral shells or elemental forces, not human souls. And then in Eastern mysticism, Blavatsky drew heavily from Hinduism, Buddhism, and Tibetan esotericism. Her concept of root races, cycles of human evolution, was inspired by Hindu cosmology, but reframed in a mystical, almost science fiction way. And Western occult orders. Blavatsky had indirect ties with groups like the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. While she wasn't a member, many Golden Dawn initiates studied her works, including famous figures like Aleister Crowley, who acknowledged her influence. And also Freemasonry. Blavatsky was fascinated by Masonic symbolism. Some accounts suggested she had Masonic connections, though women weren't formally admitted. In her writing, she equated ancient wisdom traditions with the hidden truths behind Masonry. And secret masters, Mahatmas, letters supposedly sent from the Mahatmas to theosophical members described advanced metaphysical teachings. Whether real or fabricated, these letters tied Blavatsky's work into a lineage of hidden adepts guiding humanity. Of course, Blavatsky's story is not without controversy. In India, where she lived for several years, she was investigated by the Society for Psychical Research. They accused her of faking paranormal phenomena like materializing letters or producing objects during seances. Critics say she was a brilliant plagiarist, weaving together Eastern text, Western esotericism, and her own imagination. Admirers, however, saw her as a channel for timeless wisdom. Even today, historians and occultists debate, was she a fraud, a genius, or perhaps both? What can't be denied is Blavatsky's impact. The New Age movement, which exploded in the 20th century, owes much to her. Writers like Anne Besant and Rudolf Steiner carried forward her work into fields like anthroposophy and esoteric Christianity. Even modern yoga and meditation movements in the West traced their popularization to Theosophy's fascination with the East. Blavatsky built a bridge between worlds, science and mysticism, East and West, ancient wisdom and modern occultism. Blavatsky lived a life surrounded by mystery, controversy, and profound influence. Whether she truly communed with hidden masters or was simply one of the greatest myth makers of the 19th century, her writings continue to shape spiritual seekers today. She reminds us that the occult is not just about secret, hidden in dusty tombs, but about daring to look beyond the surface of reality into the realms where science, spirit, and imagination meet. So, as always, thank you for joining me on this journey into the life and occult connections of Madame Blavatsky. Until next time, keep seeking, keep questioning, and remember, the mysteries are always closer than they appear. All right, everyone, take care. Peace.